Hello, hello, hello. I want to share something. The title of this podcast, All Thing Healing Podcast, the title of this podcast is Live While You're Alive. And I know that's a statement in itself. I'm going to tell you where it came from. Last night, I was watching this show. And it's actually a series. I can't think of the name of it, but the show is about a nurse who works at a place where people go when they're at the end of their life. So she's a hospice nurse. I guess that's what you call it. I'm not sure. So as I'm watching the show, they got people, when the people come there, they're coming there to transition, to die. And so as I'm watching this show, I started feeling something, right? I started feeling emotions. I started feeling sadness. I started to grieve. And as she's sitting with this patient and this person is transitioning, his father is, standing there like he didn't know what to do. And she said to him, the last thing to go is the hearing. He can still hear you. So he began to read some stuff to him, and eventually, his son transitioned. And I went to a place. It took me to a place in time when my cousin had transitioned, and he was in a hospital in ICU. And when I went to see him, it's like he wasn't there. But when she said that the last thing to go with what is the hearing, I can definitely agree with that statement, and it gave me some kind of closure because as I was talking to my cousin, I held his hand and I said, "Do you know who I am?" And he squeezed my hand. So I was like, boo-hoo crying. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know. Because a lot of times we're like, well, I don't want to go. For me, I don't want to just sit around and watch somebody die. Nurses that do that, I commend nurses that do that. That takes a person with another type of strength to be able to help people in that area of transitioning. Like a hospice nurse, my God, I really commend y'all on the work that you do. Because it takes so much to be able to do that. And you definitely have a gift. You definitely have a calling. You definitely have a purpose on your life in that area. And so as I'm sitting here thinking about that, I was like, he heard me because he squeezed my hand. And that made me feel all kind of things. First of all, all of the things I felt in that moment. But I also felt acceptance. I felt a type of closure. And I didn't even know that stuff was there. I didn't even know it was there, but I just feel like when things come up because they need to come out, and don't try to stuff them. Like allow the feelings, allow yourself to feel the feelings, whatever they are, and then just go inside, go internally and say, what is this? Why am I sad? Why am I feeling this? Because that's exactly what I did. And when I heard that, I immediately thought about my cousin who transitioned years and years ago. And I'm sitting here feeling the same emotions I felt as if it just happened. When it comes to grieving, it's no expiration date on that. Grief comes in waves, and I'm slowly understanding the things that I've also been sharing and also been talking about. Grief comes in waves, and you don't know when it's gonna hit you. You just don't know. It just comes out of nowhere. It's like I didn't plan that. I'm watching this show, and sometimes this happens to me a lot. I'm watching shows and I feel intense emotions. So instead of me running from the emotions, I sit with them. I'm like, okay, so what's going on here? Like, why am I feeling this? And so last night, it was just so clear on why I was feeling exactly what I was feeling. And it also was like, I don't know what other word to use. It just felt like a release. It felt like it was something that was trapped and I did not know it was there. And it was finally released. And I stopped myself from watching the next episode because it was time for me to go to sleep. And I like to set the tone for when I'm getting ready to rest. So I put it on something. I put it on like a funny show because I was already in the low mood. So I wanted to pull myself out of that low mood into a more happier, a more joyful mood. And so that's what I did as I began to, get ready to go to sleep, to relax and go to bed and everything and rest. I just wanted to share that. I wanted to share my awareness of that. And I also wanted to share just live while you're alive. There's so many people who are not here. And you are still here. So live while you're alive. Because right now, what you're doing, you're living your legacy. You are writing your obituary right now. You're writing that. So what do you want to be remembered by? What do you want to be remembered as? Because you are writing that right now. Something to think about. So I just wanted to share my heart with you today. And I hope this message lands the way it's supposed to land and just something to think about. That's all I got, y'all. Stay well, stay blessed, and stay in peace. Until next time, thanks for listening to the All Things Healing Podcast with Coach JRose.